Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the You Like That podcast, extra edition for the week. This week we're here looking at Vanilla Sky as requested by good friend Jess. Close with the show, much like with Jack and Alyssa and Brooke and all that. That's our tight-knit group of the movie lovers, you know, and haters on Jack's behalf because he still hates movies. But yeah, anyway, this week we gave the choice to Jess. She hit me with Tom Cruise's 2001 mystery sci-fi-ish film called Vanilla Sky. So that's what we're going to look at this week here. So thank you, Jess, for recommending that one here. If you guys have anything to recommend for me to watch on this extra edition of the show, please just reach out over on Instagram. Links are in the bio. Just send me a message saying I've seen this movie X many years ago or when I was a kid or something. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Talk about it. I'll gladly oblige. So, this week, Vanilla Sky, released 2001. This was directed by Cameron Crowe. This is based on the Spanish film from 1997 called Open Your Eyes, which also starred Penelope Cruz, who also stars in this one. This has a runtime of 137 minutes, a budget of $68 million. It raked in $203 million at the box. Rotten Tomatoes score, 42% with the critics, 72% with the audience. We'll speak about where I side with that later into this here. So the cast of this, our main cast, we've got Tom Cruise as David Ames, Penelope Cruz as Sophia, Cameron Diaz as Juliana, Kurt Russell as Dr. McCabe, Jason Lee as Brian. Then you got a couple other little features in there: Johnny Galecki, Tilda Swinton, and Michael Shannon. It's a decently cast film, you know. It's got big names to it. Not, you know, it's early. It's 2001. This is an early film, and off the bat, Vanilla Sky. What are my thoughts on this film, Jess? You've hit me with the movie where I think you knew instantly this was going to be a controversial claim that you love this movie, but maybe not a lot of other people do. Unfortunately, I didn't enjoy this movie. I didn't hate this movie. Let that be clear. I didn't hate this movie. It's not a terrible movie, but it's by no instance a great movie, personally, in my opinion. It's very weird, and, you know, it's a movie that's shrouded by a lot of mystery and a lot of what's the bigger picture, what's happening here, you know, why is this happening, and, you know, how is this happening? And, you know, it's the mystery that's left until the end, to the end of the film, where you get your twist and you go, well, you might go, oh, okay, and otherwise you might go, fucking, wait, what? How? Sorry? Yeah, there's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, because I'm not the brightest spark with these twisty movies like this. I mean, something like this, where it has multiple interpretations that you can take from the ending of this film, it loses me there, because it's not like, it's not an interesting concept as such, because the exploration into what it's all about is so minimal, and it's shrouded to the last couple minutes of the movie. You know, you're not sort of wanting to crack this mystery in any sense, because it's just sort of unfolding in a very lackluster, more dramatic sense. You know, it's a lot more of a romance to begin with, between Tom Cruise, Penelope Cruz, and Cameron Diaz. Is sort of this like love triangle thing, we believe to think, and I didn't get it all. I didn't understand where everything was sort of going, and that's just a detriment to myself. You know, I'm just not that capable of putting movies like this together. You know, and if it's not given to me on a silver plate with a bit of bread and butter going, this is how it's done, I'm lost. But, you know, there's some cool, you know, moments in here. What those moments are, I really don't know. But, you know, it gives itself a little bit of comedy. It gives itself its mystery. It's trying to lead you down a path of trying to figure everything out for yourself. But very hard to sort of figure out for yourself unless you're that type of person that can do that. Um, so when I saw that it was labeled as a sci-fi, I was like, so like aliens or what? No, the whole sci-fi-ness of this is this company called Life Extension, where it's like cryo freezing for possible many hundreds of years or whatever, a few years, and then pull you out and bang, you get back to life the way it is. Much being proven by a dog that they froze for 6 months and brought it back to life. And I don't know if that's how you sort of build a company like this off the back of a dog experiment. I mean, by all means, I probably fucking would. If a dog came to me and said, oi, arcades are still doing pretty good, but you know what you should do? Arcade, mini golf, all in one. Late night for the adults. It's trademarked, don't steal my idea. I'd probably do that because the dog told me to do that. But yeah, like the whole Life Extension thing, that company isn't really sort of explained upon further. For one, if it's even a real thing, or if all this is sort of happening in Tom Cruise's mind, very hard to work out, especially by the end of the movie. And you go, okay, so at one point it's decided that that's when he signed up to this program. And that's when you're like, oh, so everything's been more or less a simulation. For them, they say it's a lucid dream. You get the choice. You can either just stay frozen and have a dead memory, I guess, until you wake up. Or you can pay a bit extra, of course. It's all about money. Pay that little bit extra and just get caught in a lucid dreaming state. I don't know how they can bring that on to put you into a lucid dreaming state for this long. But apparently that's what he went with. And it evolved into a nightmare, bringing in different elements from his memories and causing this whole corruption and this whole mind-bending shitfest between the different women and what's actually happening. And is his face deformed? Is it fixed? What happens? It's so hard to discern on this. But given all that, and it's all coming about at the last 5 minutes of this film, when he contacts tech support, who then explains to him what's been happening, and now you've got to make the choice. Do you stay a bit longer, or do you go to your reality? Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird, because from what happens at the end there, so he's at Life Extension, and they're sort of telling him about what their program does, and then he's sort of piecing it together, that he's stuck in his own little lucid dream. Contacts tech support, which is a guy, Noah Taylor. It puts him in what seems to be a never-ending elevator, and explains that he's been in suspension for 150 years. Sure, okay. Starting after the night at the club when Sophia broke up with him. And, he left his club to his father's associates and put himself into the lucid dreaming based on the Vanilla Sky painting from Claude Monet. So, he's telling you some things here, but then does that mean that's actually what's happened? I don't know. But if you go by what Cameron Crowe, the director, said in some commentary, he's basically put it down to there are 5 different interpretations to the film's ending. So read them to you one by one, and then ultimately, if you've seen this film, or you're going to see this film, come back and see how you interpret this, if one of these 5 scenarios is how you interpreted this film. So first, tech support is telling the truth. 150 years have passed since Ames killed himself, and subsequent events form a lucid dream. 2, the entire film is a dream, evidenced by a sticker on Ames's car that reads February 30th, 2001. February 30 does not exist, does not occur in the Gregorian calendar, sorry. Number 3, the events after the crash are a dream Ames has while comatose. 4, the entire film is the plot of the book that Brian is writing. And 5, the entire film after the crash is a hallucination caused by drugs administered during Ames's reconstructive surgery. There's many different ways that you can try and interpret this film. And that's one cool thing about films like this, that they can give you that option and be like, well, this is how I think it's done. This is how I think, what I think it's supposed to mean. But anything like that. Me looking at that, I'd say the events after the crash or dream that Tom Cruise has had while he's been comatose. I mean, everything else, obviously, it's there. You can take it however which way you want. I think that's the most believable one. But yeah, I don't know. Having that, he's been cryo slept for 150 years. It just seems pretty outlandish. For the fact that we don't see anything after that to like prove that's real, it just seems like a long ass time. Especially when they say that people are cryogenically frozen and that if they've got terminal illnesses, and the whole thing is wake that person up when a cure has been found and they can actually do it. For Tom Cruise's character's sake, it's just he's got a fucked up face and a bunged arm. Surely within 150 years, someone's been able to crack that and go, here's how we can do it, 150 years, it's a long-ass time. So I'd want to say between that time, someone's worked out how to sort of make scar tissue look a bit more nicer on the face. But yeah, Vanilla Sky, it's a movie that's got its twists and turns, but ultimately, for myself, doesn't have me drawn in to want to figure out what's happening here in this film. But it's a great performance from Tom Cruise, as always. It's early Cruise, he's very young, he's handsome looking, and, it's very top of his career, very well done. Everyone plays their part really well, and just the cast in general is just amazing. Everyone does their part perfectly. Everyone's portrayed great, performing perfectly. It's just the story peters along, and it just doesn't work for me as a person watching this. So if you are into something that's on these scales, Vanilla Sky is streaming on Stan, so you can stream it over there. If you want to watch it, it is a longish movie. It's a bit tedious, but, if you're into this type of thing, you might enjoy it. So if you want to go watch it, go check it out there. But I'm going to end this here on that. Okay movie, not shit, not bad, but it's just not for me. But Jess, thank you for recommending it. It's another movie crossed off my list from the old days that I haven't seen before. So that's what it's all about here. I want to watch those older movies that I haven't seen and can quickly talk about and just get something out for you guys. Know my thoughts, something like this. This is 21 years after the film. If something like this can hold up in today's standards as well. So with that being said, guys, if you do want to send me anything to do on the extra, as said, Instagram, send me a DM. And if it's interesting enough and I haven't seen it, I promise you I'll do it. It'll go on the list. While you're here, check out the main show as well. Same place where you're watching this or listening to this now, there's the main show. The main show is a new release movie every week that tends to take me out to the cinema, regardless of good or bad, and I don't get paid for it. I pay for it myself to bring you with a brand new movie. Is it worth seeing? Is it something that you might enjoy that I didn't? Who knows? Last week, I did The Death on the Nile, murder mystery. Check out to see what I thought on that one there. This week is going to be Uncharted, the long-awaited film adaptation of the beloved video game franchise that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite PlayStation franchises. But the movie, what do I think of the movie? You'll have to check that out this week on the main show. And if you are into any sports, into soccer, per se, go check out my other podcast. It's called Left on the Bench. It's with my best mate Jacob. And we just talk about the Premier League and right now the Champions League that's happening there. Links for that is all in the description below as well. So if you can check us out anywhere, if you can like, share, subscribe, rate us on any of the audio platforms, hit the little subscribe button on YouTube. Help me out. And after you've done all that, come and see me on the next one. So thanks for joining me here on the You Like That podcast extra episode. My name is Adam and I'll see you all next week.